In the next 60 seconds, more than £2,000 will have been taken from us by scammers. By the end of today, we'll have lost more than 3 million.
Scams and fraud are not just the most commonly reported crimes, but also they're an industry worth billions of pounds. Now, in the UK, we've become such popular targets that we've become known as the fraud capital of the world.
But together, you and I can change all that. I'm Alexis Conrad. Come with me and my team as we dive into the world of scams.
We've turned this old furniture factory into our little mini HQ.
From here, we'll investigate the latest threats from the inside and show you how they work.
Have a quick look underneath there. That's your password?
That's my password.
Then we'll teach you how to spot those red flags.
Never exclusively rely on your transaction being over messaging apps, texts, or emails.
I'm also going to be on the road to meet ordinary people who've been hit by scams, small
They messaged me saying we need another £700.
and large.
How much did you send?
£120,000.
Scams are ever evolving, but there are always easy ways to make sure your money stays safe and you don't get caught out.
This time, the broadband scam that locks you out of your smartphone.
I tried to disconnect my phone and I couldn't. They'd taken over my handset.
A woman gets in deep with a romance scammer.
Your daughter-in-law doesn't know I'm not a scammer. You'll get all your money back.
And someone online gives me an offer I really can refuse.
Is this a scam? It's guaranteed. I have a blue tick. Welcome to our little HQ, our temporary home throughout this series.
The team and I have been hard at work looking into the latest scams plaguing the nation, and a lot of the leads we've been following have come from you. Hundreds of you have contacted us by email and by WhatsApp to tell us your stories, and throughout this series, we'll be featuring many of the scams that you've alerted us to.
But one thing has become very clear when we look through our inbox here, and it might surprise some of you. Scammers actually watch the news. Whatever's going on in the country, whatever's plaguing the country, scammers are here to make it worse.
A few years ago, it was COVID. More recently, cost of living problems. And now, with a huge crisis brewing for renters, the scammers have adapted their tactics once again. Kelly from West Bromwich was exactly the sort of person they were looking for. In August 2022, she and her dog Gizmo became homeless after a breakup.
This way.
It was Kelly who had the breakup, by the way, not Gizmo. She needed a new place to stay ASAP. So while staying with friends, she turned to an online marketplace for renters and landlords. That's where she met Ange.
Put an advert on there asking if anybody had got a property to rent. Within a few minutes, I had someone come back to me.
Within a few minutes?
Within a few minutes. A lovely 3-bedroom home, close to where I was working because I was due to start a new job. They sent me all the information over. It looked kosher.
These are the pictures that Ange sent to Kelly. I must say the place does look lovely, and at £700 a month, it seems like quite a bargain.
Do you know anything about them? Did they tell you who they were, what they did?
She told me she worked with children in a children's home.
Children in a children's home?
Yeah.
OK.
The line about children, it's a clever psychological trick. It's a way of saying, I'm someone you can trust. It's okay to give me your money.
Because I was in a situation where I needed to get out of where I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, OK, I'll take it.
Right.
So at this point, I contacted my parents, who loaned me the money.
How much money?
It was £700 for the deposit.
Right.
And then they said they needed another £700 for something else.
Right.
And then as I was getting ready to go to my new job, they messaged me saying we need another £700.
Hang on, that's a third £700?
Yes.
So now you've sent them £2,100
Yes.
within
3 days.
Kelly was all set to move in, But of course, it didn't quite work out that way.
They says to me they were going to meet me at 5:30. I went, yeah, that's absolutely fine. And then they says, oh, can I meet you at 7:30 because I'm at the hospital with one of the children I look after and a partner would be meeting me at the property.
And every time you try and meet up,
Yeah.
they would postpone.
Yeah, excuse after excuse after excuse.
This is another classic from the scammer's playbook. Delays and distractions give Ange a chance to cover her tracks. By the time Kelly realised there was a problem, it was already too late.
Kelly, this is the neighbourhood
Yeah.
that you were hoping to move into.
Yeah.
So you came down here to have a look at the house.
Yeah.
What happened?
My dad pulled up outside the property. I walked up to the property, saw there were still personal belongings in the porch, rang the
Right.
bell, and the person that owned the property came to the door. Yeah.
And what, were they surprised?
No, not at first. I just asked if the property had been up for let, and he went, no, it's never been to let. I says, I think I've been scammed.
The owner of the house doesn't want to be identified.
No.
Because they also feel that they've been scammed.
Yes.
Now, it turns out the pictures were of that very house. They'd been taken by an estate agent the last time it was up for sale, which was when the current occupants bought it. Kelly had lost thousands of pounds, and worse, her dream home had turned out to be a work of fiction.
It's just brought me right down. I feel angry that I was silly
At
enough.
who?
Myself.
Why? Because you didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but it's not checking everything out first.
Sure.
And I'm also angry at them because they knew I had to borrow the money for the deposit and whatever else, but they still carried on trying to get so much money off me.
Kelly reported the scam to the police and her bank, and then she tried to get some answers from Ange.
Let's take a look at some of the messages. Here we go. Did my partner not turn up either? That emergency I had with a child I was working with sadly passed away with her illness, so I got sent home. This was such a sad day.
Yeah. That got me angry when I read that. And I was like, how could you use that as an excuse?
To make it abundantly clear, no child that we know of has died.
No.
Okay. Then, in a very quick succession, also my bank have been on the phone. They said you've made a claim for fraud. Is this true? But then straight after that, saying if you can make the payment, then I will get the government deposit scheme back to you. So, at one breath they're saying, "Are you accusing me of fraud?" And in the other one they're saying, "Can you please send some money over?"
Yeah.
I like the emoji of teary eyes. Man. Why have you reported us to fraud?
Yes. Yeah.
It makes me angry, and I didn't even go through this.
Yeah.
Kelly and Gizmo were left homeless by this scam. When I met them in West Bromwich, they were still living with friends. And with a country sinking ever deeper into a housing crisis, plenty of other people will be vulnerable to similar attacks. If you're house hunting to rent or buy, there are some simple steps that you can take to protect yourself.
If you're house hunting, renting or buying, there are some simple steps you can take to make sure that you're secure. First up, call. Never exclusively rely on your transaction being over messaging apps, texts or emails. Try and get a phone number, try and speak to someone, and even better, try and meet someone in person. If they're avoiding speaking to you or meeting, that could be a scammer hiding behind a fake ID, in which case you need to walk away. Second, view. Try and see the property before you hand over any money. And if someone's asking you to pay up before seeing anything, again, you might be dealing with a scammer, so walk away. And finally, the law. Know your rights. If you've seen something and you like it and someone's asking you for a holding fee, then you should know that by law, if they want you to hold it, they can ask you for 1 week's worth of rent. If they now require a deposit, then in most cases, by law, they can only ask you for 5 weeks worth of rent. If they're asking you for more, they could be a scammer, so walk away. There's been a lot in the news lately about romance scams, with stories featuring glamorous-looking people stepping on and off private jets. Now, the reality, of course, isn't quite so glamorous, with many victims never even meeting the people they've been scammed by, often for life-changing amounts of money. Now, one person got in touch with our team to share her story as a warning to others.
Ava from Harlow in Essex is in many ways a more typical romance scam victim. Ava is divorced, lives on her own, and she's an avid user of social media. In 2019, she was contacted by a man calling himself David West.
There was a direct message on social media to me saying that he was talking about the pictures on my profile and, you know, could we be friends? No harm in that, I thought.
Had this ever happened before to you?
No. I've got a tattoo on my foot. I think he mentioned that.
What did he say?
A nice tattoo, nice foot, something you think, oh. And then it just got to chatting, just, you know, where are you, what do you do, how old? Married, divorced. He was on an oar rig in the middle of the sea.
Okay.
Somewhere. And knew he was coming home to America shortly.
So he was an American?
Yes.
Right.
For months, Ava and David kept up a daily correspondence. David slowly earned Ava's trust and became a central part of her life. There was no mention of money yet.
And is he sharing sort of personal information about his life?
Yes.
Everything?
Yeah, obviously wanted to know all about mine.
Yeah.
Do you live alone? Do you own your house? Do you have a car? What sort of car is it?
Wow. Specific information.
To an outside observer, it's obvious what David is doing here. He's sizing up Ava's assets so that when the time comes, he knows how much she's worth. But from Ava's point of view, it was just a chat between friends.
How long before David asked you for money?
I think we'd been talking maybe 6 months, and then he was coming home back to America and got stopped at the airport and needed money to get away.
When he requested money from you, how did you feel when he did ask? Did you think anything of it? Did you kind of go, oh, hang on a minute, I haven't met this person in...
No, I didn't.
No?
No.
You just wanted to help?
Yes.
How much money did you send the first time?
I think it was 1,000.
How were you going to get it to him?
Well, my mother had just died
Yeah.
and left me her house, so I had some money in the bank.
Was it a bank transfer he was asking?
It started off at the post office, and then they stopped me doing it. They wouldn't do it anymore.
Because you were doing it too often?
Yeah, they just didn't like the sound of it, I think. So I went to the bank, and the bank did it.
Did you speak to anyone about all this?
Only a couple of friends.
What were they saying?
I don't think I told them about all the money.
Right.
And they said, well, he looks nice and he sounds all right. Daughter-in-law had heard of it. And, well, she just said to me, oh, that's a scam.
Did you ever confront David about that? Did you say, oh, I spoke to my daughter-in-law, she thinks you're a scammer?
Oh, he said, oh, they all say that. Your daughter-in-law doesn't know I'm not a scammer. You'll get all your money back.
And he never even tried to send you anything, even as a
No.
token?
People around Ava, even staff at the post office, suspected something was amiss and tried to warn her. But she was so under David's spell, she couldn't hear them.
I think the affection had something to do with it.
Yeah.
It was very well worded and he was quite clever.
Do you think that perhaps the option of not having someone to talk to and share with is just worse than having to deal with a bit of doubt?
Yeah. There was always a very good reason. His daughter had had an accident. He couldn't afford to pay. Would I pay and I'll get it all back?
She kept paying David for nearly a year. In total, it cost her £67,000, the whole of her mother's inheritance and more.
£67,000. Did you get any of it back?
No. When I said there was no more money and he just kept on and on, every text would be, on sell the car, put the house up for sale. Because when I come to England, I'm going to have loads of money and we'll buy a nice big house.
Oh, because there was a promise of him coming to England to be with you.
Yes.
Ava was out of money, but she still believed David West was real, and she still had feelings for him. But the whole fantasy was about to come crashing down. Now, I appreciate that a lot of people will be thinking, how on earth can Ava not have noticed that she's speaking to scammers? But remember, these people are very good at their jobs. And I've invited someone here who's going to explain exactly how good they really are and how careful they are with the language that they use. Dr. Elizabeth Carter is a criminologist at Kingston University who studies the persuasion techniques of scammers and particularly romance scammers. Let's talk a little bit about Ava's case.
Particularly with romance fraud, the kinds of things, the kind of tactics that fraudsters use are almost identical to the kinds of interactions that ordinary people would do when they're starting a romance.
Pick-up lines,
It's
right?
pick-up lines, it is. You would expect somebody to ask about your previous love life, have you got any kids, those kind of things. But those are precisely the kinds of bits of information that are then used to defraud you. So you can't really tell from the outset if it's going to be a fraudulent interaction. You can only really tell when it starts to develop.
I didn't just invite Liz to talk about Ava. A member of an online self-help group for romance scam victims has handed us a small piece of gold. A script that is apparently circulating among scammers. So the first up is ways of saying hi to a client pickup. I love the way they call them clients, but these are standard lines. Hey, how's your day going so far? I suppose this is sort of your entry-level pickup line, right?
First of all, by saying client, this enables the fraudster to do some kind of mitigation with themselves. It's like a technique of neutralisation. They're not a criminal, they're actually dealing with a client. If the client wants to give them money, it's their decision.
This is a business.
This is a business.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier for them to engage in this criminal activity that's financially, psychologically devastating.
And then we've got the section that says, keeping up with her, build that comfort with her before preaching love.
I love how they label it, because it's very explicit. You need to be able to share those online experiences first before you can then develop the relationship. Yeah. It's all designed to make the fraudster look really innocuous, not a threat at all. And also, interestingly, it's designed to get the victim to feel almost protective over the fraudster from the beginning.
With this step-by-step guide, the scammer is taught how to persuade someone to first give over their heart and then give over their money. Although some sections do need a little bit of work.
Oh my God, I mean, come on! What's your favourite colour? Suggested answer. My favourite colours is white, sign of purity, peace and nobility. I mean, get me a bucket.
It is going a bit far here, but again, it's saying these kind of things like flagging up, I'm a really good person, I'm not a baddie.
I think we're going to skip this section because this section is called Dream You Had for Her, parenthesis, sex dream.
It's quite explicit.
It is quite explicit. It starts with, hi, my queen, how you doing today? But then goes on to become a little bit fruitier than that. Yep. My goodness, okay. Now, this section is after she's already interested.
This is moving from the early introduction, showing credibility, avoiding any red flags, and now we're into the grooming part, when you perform an act, a small amount of money, and then you get the ask for the next amount of money, and because you've already given some, it would seem almost churlish to say no. And then eventually, when it's larger amounts of money, you start adding it up and it's, thousands and thousands, more than £60,000 in this case, then you think, it's just one last one. And then fraudsters do use that kind of language, just one final payment, then finally we can be together. So then if the victim doesn't, they've thrown away all of that money and they've thrown away all of that time, and it's them responsible for throwing away the relationship.
Now, throughout this series, we've been keeping an eye on scammers that we're finding online. We've set up our own profile on social media. This is us. Now, this is a picture that we got from an AI-generated website. So this person really does not exist. We've got a fake name. We don't have any followers. We've only got one post. But we're using this profile to contact scammers online and just see how they operate.
If you want to make 5 grand, literally in 45 minutes, get me ASAP. I've got a couple spaces available.
Our first scammer is a man we found on the fast-growing social media service TikTok. He uses a variety of aliases, and one of the posts suggests we message one of them, a so-called Samson Macintosh, on Instagram.
Over 2,000 followers, all the videos seem to be this. If you've got £500 in your account, I can make you 5,000 today in 40 minutes, guaranteed. Here's some of the videos. A lot of cash everywhere. Been blessed with talent, getting rich quick. So I thought, I fancy me some of that cash. Let's see what happens.
Posing as Mandy, I reach out to the man posing as Samson.
Hey, watched your vids. Interested, can you really make 5K in 45 minutes? That's how the kids speak, right? He's gonna know it's a 51-year-old man.
Within 10 minutes, he replies.
Samson's got back and he says, if you've got 500, I can make you 5,000. I want to see how is he going to ask me for the money. How do I send it to him? Is it going to be crypto?
Nope. Turns out he just sends us his sort code and account number for a bank in South London.
I'll transfer it to your account after. How long after? I need it right now. Is this a scam? It's guaranteed. I have a blue tick. Only real people get that. I'll send you 1,000 if you tell me how you do it. Interesting that he says I have a blue tick, the power of the blue tick. And we know that now, since the new rules and Meta, you can actually buy your blue tick like you can buy it on Twitter. So the blue tick shouldn't really be used as anything other than to say that this person has paid for a blue tick. Yeah, there are some checks, but there are also going to be ways of getting round some of those checks. You see my message. I think now he knows I'm playing with him. Realise that I am texting like an old man. He's not. I'm not a 51-year-old man, even though we sounded keen to start with. Now we've started questioning his guarantee. He's not going to bother arguing with us. So he has been looking at our profile and says, sorry, I just found out that you're a fake account, so I will not waste my time. Interesting that he's not trying to convince us. He's not bartering. It's like, 500, send it. This is the account. You're not interested, goodbye. I've got plenty of other people I could go to.
As scams go, this is definitely one of the less sophisticated ones. But it doesn't have to be. If just 3 people a week are greedy enough to fall for this, he'd be raking in close to 80,000 a year. Earlier, we heard from Ava, who got snared in a romance scam and gave away her life savings to a man calling himself David West.
£67,000. Did you get any of it back?
No.
After 18 months, Ava was still unaware that David West was a scammer, and her family was unaware that she had sent him so much money. But they were about to find out in the worst possible way.
Now, I'm going to speak to Ava's son, Stephen, and he's actually the one who uncovered this scam. Steve.
Hello.
Hi, Alexis. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, come on in.
Thank you.
You go take a seat.
Thank you. So, right, is this all the...
Yep, there's some of the statements and the bank transfers.
Over a cup of tea, Stephen showed me some of Ava's bank statements.
The amounts of money are eye-watering, aren't they?
Yep.
That's a lot of money going. Because there's some large chunks and then some sort of smaller chunks, but there's so many smaller chunks. Jeez. And they're quite frequent. I mean, there's loads of them.
Got a hook, line and sinker.
I'm just so sorry. And of course, you have to think that for every one of these payments, there's a whole backstory of, oh, I need, you know, one of the stories was my daughter's in hospital.
Why it's gone on for so long.
And there's no knowing exactly how much longer it would have gone on for if Ava hadn't ended up in hospital with a life-threatening blood infection. And Stephen was left in charge of her phone.
I mean, she was seriously ill.
Yes. Yes, it was touch and go if she was going to make it or not, but I think that in itself done us a favour because it got to the bottom of what was going on.
So how did that come about?
While we were in the resus room of the hospital, turns out the phone was constantly ringing. And it's like, what's this about? And it was the same name, David West, David West. Then the text started, talk to me, baby, and I'm like, this is a bit full on, isn't it?
When did the penny drop for you that this isn't just a friend, this person has had money sent to them by your mum?
Because they were expecting a package delivered at her house, and the package was a large sum of cash.
Yes, you heard that right. Ava was not only sending her own money to David West, she had agreed to send him other people's money too.
And we realised it was more than just cash packages that she was getting, it was constant cash packages. I don't want to speculate because I don't know the ins and outs of everything, but it looks like my mum was part of a bigger money laundering syndicate.
So explain to me exactly what was going on. She was getting packages
of cash
delivered to her address.
Yes.
And what was she doing with them?
Paying it into different bank accounts.
How many packages do you think your mum had received?
I have no idea. No idea at all.
But you definitely witnessed one?
Yes, definitely, and handed it into Essex Police.
When did you find out that it wasn't just the packages, but your mum had sent over 60 grand to
When my wife
David
went through
West?
all of the account, all of the history of the text messages, we got to the bottom of the history of the messages. We found receipts in the house saying that she'd taken equity out on the house. But yeah, all the money's just gone. It's been overseas and the police can't trace it anymore.
How did you break it to her? Because bearing in mind your mum had been in contact with David all the way along, then her health deteriorated, then she finds herself in hospital.
Yes. Went up to the hospital with her phone and said to her blatantly, "Who's David West?" And she was quite embarrassed to reveal who he was. And I said, "What's going on, Mum?" And she just turned around and said, "I've been a silly woman." That's all she kept saying. "I've been so silly because the penny dropped." I said, "You do know you're not going to see this money again, don't you?" And she said, "It seems that way."
But it's awkward, isn't it? Because she's your mum.
Yep.
She's got a right to privacy, as we all have.
Yep.
You can't be waltzing in and going, "Who are you talking to? Who's that? Show me your phone."
I can't be the parent in this, can I? Which is what she's always been to me, which is what's different now.
She told me you weren't very happy with her.
I did say a few F words, put it that way, politely.
Do you regret that?
No, not at all.
Now, the burning question at the heart of this scam is, who is David West? Now, of course, there are many David Wests around the world, and as far as we know, none of them are scammers. But we do know what this particular David West looks like. That is the picture he used on his profile. But we also know that this isn't David West. It's this guy, Dr. Mark Smith. He's a chiropractor in the state of Indiana in the US, and here he is on an online video explaining what he does. So we know that the scammers stole his image, attached the name David West, and started scamming people like Ava. Now, there is one thing that could have prevented Ava from falling victim to this scam. It's called a reverse image search, and it's very easy to do and could stop a scam in less than 60 seconds. Here is how to do a simple reverse image search in less than 60 seconds. Go online and find your image. Now, David West is here, or this is at least the person pretending to be David West. I download this to my desktop. I then go on to Google. And up here, I'm going to head over to Google Images. Now, when I'm here, I tap this camera icon and I upload my file. I choose it from my desktop and I open it. Once Google has a look at it, I'm just going to tap this button up here, Find Image Source. This is going to look for that image all over the internet. And already I am seeing lots of different names pop up. Alfred William, the real Dr. Mark Smith, Ewell Ramsey, Ian William, all these different names. Well, scammers on Pinterest there. That immediately tells me that this image has been used on several profiles. I know I'm dealing with scammers. Walk away.
For a while now, we've been seeing scams where victims are persuaded to download remote access software, an app that allows someone to take over control of your laptop or desktop computer. That scam has now taken a frightening new turn.
But did you know that the same type of software can be used to have access to your mobile phone or tablet? Well, neither did Mina, who emailed us to share a particularly frightening story she had to go through on a very nice, sunny Saturday afternoon.
Mina's story begins in February 2023. She started having on and off problems with her broadband. She was steeling herself to face the ordeal of phoning customer service when, out of the blue, they phoned her.
And he said, "We're just making courtesy call to you about your internet connection. You may have noticed it's been crashing lately. Have you had any problems with it?" So immediately I thought, oh, actually, yes, I have. Yes, I have. You know, normally when people ring you on the phone, they ask you to go through security checks. He had all my information about me. So he knew my name, my postcode, how much I was paying, the last 4 digits of my card. So he didn't actually ask me for any of my information, which was quite unusual.
How did the caller know so much about Mina? Well, one possible answer is that her data was stolen in a breach, possibly months or years ago, and a scammer is using it now to win her trust.
He then asked me to download something called TeamViewer. I didn't know what it was. He explained that he just needed to connect onto my phone to do the remedial works, and so I downloaded it.
TeamViewer is one of the more popular remote access apps. It's been downloaded more than 2 billion times by legitimate users. When Mina downloaded it, she gave the scammers complete control of her phone. In Mina's case, she gave permission because she believed the scammers were about to fix her faulty broadband.
There was no suspicious flags, nothing. He said he would need to connect now to my phone in order to access the internet connection at my end, and he would need to run something to clean it up.
In fact, he was about to steal her money. First, he tried to get Mina to open her phone banking app.
And he said, no, ma'am, can you check via your phone? Of course, I'm thinking, this doesn't sound right. So I said, OK, I'll do it. But I didn't. And I actually got my Chromebook out. And I went on my Chromebook as I was sitting on the sofa, and I logged onto my mobile banking app via my Chromebook.
That is a great idea by Mina. If your gut is telling you something's wrong, listen to it. But the scammer had a backup plan. He had Mina's card number from a data breach, so he used it to pay himself £999.
When I looked at my mobile phone, I suddenly saw an OTP message come up on my phone, and it said something OTP 999.
An OTP, or one-time password, is one of those texts many banks now use, a 6-digit code to authorize a payment. Now, because the scammer had hacked Mina's phone, he saw that code and he authorized his own payment.
But just as I quickly looked at it, it suddenly disappeared.
Then the trouble really started.
And then I thought, no, something's not right. And I tried to disconnect my phone and I couldn't. They'd taken over my handset. I couldn't end the call and I couldn't do anything to my phone. They were in total control of my phone at that point. I was really scared. I was trying to, at the side of your mobile phone, you'd have a button that you can press to lock it. I couldn't lock it. They had managed to lock my screen. It's asked me for my passcode to get into my phone. I tried to put my passcode in my phone. It said, not recognised. Tried it again, not recognised. I was doing it really slowly, not recognised. And they had disconnected from my phone at that point. And I put the landline phone down, but I couldn't do anything to my phone, so I just chucked the phone in the bathroom cupboard and left it there. Now, at this point, the shock sort of kicked in. The reality of what's happened has hit home, and I'm scared. So I was actually in tears. I thought I was really, really clued up. And I'm still really cautious about pressing on links when I'm online on a computer. I still, up to this day, don't understand how this caller had all my personal details. Very scary.
We may never know how the scammer got hold of Mina's data, but many of us have been casually throwing our data away without even knowing it. Every time we get rid of a computer, for example.
Each week on the show, I'll be giving you some tips and tricks on how to make your life just that little bit more secure. Today, we're going to be looking at hard drives. They're in your laptops, on your phones, your tablets. What happens when you want to sell something that has a hard drive in it? Would you know how to safely and securely delete all the information?
To find out how easy it is to recover data from an old hard drive, I paid a visit to my friend Mike Godfrey, an ethical hacker.
So here's the thing. A lot of people now have got a lot of personal information, data everywhere on hard drives. Now, whether those hard drives are in their phones, a hard drive like this, a computer that's got its own internal hard drive. And what I'm fascinated about is, how do we get rid of information from hard drives? So if I was going to sell my laptop, most people would just drag everything to the trash, delete it, empty the trash, and then I sell it on the market. Is that a really foolish thing to do?
I wouldn't say it's foolish, but it's definitely not a secure or appropriate way of doing it. So we can demonstrate this here. Here we've got a folder which has got some of your photos in it.
Yeah, I brought. So these are on this drive. There's nothing else on this drive apart from these photos, which were of me. This is what I do on a train.
So we definitely want to delete these.
Definitely want to delete those. I'm using these as an example. So a piece of data. So that's on the drive. So if I want to delete that, so if I just click, I've dragged them to your trash.
Yep.
Shall I delete them completely?
Can do, yeah, delete them from trash as well.
I'm emptying the trash, empty bin.
Yep.
Right, so as far as I'm concerned, this drive's now empty.
Yep.
Is it though?
No. So what you've actually done is you've deleted the map of effectively where those files existed. So what people don't realise is that when you delete stuff from a hard drive, you're not actually deleting anything from the hard drive. So the way to think about this is you've got a library full of books and you've got an index of where those books are. Now, when you want to delete that data, what you would do is delete the index. That's what computers do at least anyway. So the books still exist, but it tells the computer that that's now free space that can be overwritten.
But if I wanted to sell this hard drive and someone like you gets hold of it, can you find my photos?
It's reasonably trivial to recover them, yeah.
No, he's like, he's using words like trivial. I've come to him with a trivial task.
Yeah.
So how would you do it? And could anybody do it?
So absolutely anyone can do it. So use the software, freely available. If we open that software up, so this is used to recover things like hard drives, or if you've lost data, accidentally deleted it. And it's very rare that they don't work.
Data recovery software like the one Mike is using can take hours to work, so I leave him to it. A few days later, he gets in touch with some, well, unsurprising news.
Okay, so I've received an email from Mike with some files, and I have a sneaking suspicion that he's actually managed to retrieve these photos. Yeah, they're all here. All the photos I put in the trash, emptied, deleted, checked if they were there. They weren't there. Mike's been able to get them back with a free piece of software. I think it took him about 8 hours to do this. Oh, I look quite cheery there. So that's a big lesson. Just dragging stuff to the trash and emptying it, it's really not doing anything. So how do you safely and securely, more importantly, cheaply, delete a drive? Well, there are many bits of software out there. A lot of them are free. It's free to download, free to use. So think about that next time you pass on a mobile phone, an iPad, a laptop or a desktop, or even if you're just throwing them away. Remember, data is the key to every single scam that we come across. Just that little bit of information, your name, your date of birth, maybe a picture of you somewhere on holiday. Every little bit of information about you can be used to scam you.
As for the people featured in this episode, well, there's been some good news and some not so good news.
Mina did eventually get through to her bank and they were able to give her her money back, although she did have to spend some of that money in sorting out her phone that had been compromised. Ava, not such good news, I'm afraid. She didn't get any of her money back, but the police did open a file on the scammer who targeted her. No news yet, I'm afraid, but I do know that Ava's being a lot more careful about who she interacts with online. And finally, Kelly, good news there, she got her money back. And even better news, she even got herself a new place to live.
After being scammed last year, I finally got my new flat from the council. I'm just glad now I've got the scam behind me and I'm happy in my new flat.
Next time. Go. The scammers who are moving offline and onto your front drive.
7.98 seconds. That's all it takes to steal your car.
The working holiday where you don't get work or a holiday.
Does it sound so brazen to take people's money, fly them halfway around the world and just leave them there?
It's shocking.
And the fake dog nappers that extort victims with fake threats.
He said, ask me for a picture again, I'll send you a video of me killing her.